Okay, Nicholas, what do you make of Ashwell Prince?
Well, I think Ashwell Prince has done a brilliant job for his side. He's the South African vice-captain, and he's got 100 at Lords.
My name's Teresa. I'm the manager at Greenhouse Garden Centre in Kingsbury. We've been in business now for 9 years. It was originally a council-run nursery where they used to grow the bedding for the local parks, and it was taken over privately, as I said, 9 years ago. I started here in administration, and I have recently, in the last 18 months, been promoted to general manager. I've known Dada for 9 years since we opened, basically. He's been a regular customer. We have built a personal friendship through him coming to visit us, and we do recommend him to any of our customers. We frequently are asked to recommend a gardener, and Dada's always the first name on my lips, because I know he's reliable, he's hardworking, and most importantly, I know he's honest. For about, I suppose, 7 years, I would say I've known him well. He's always struck me as a very genuine person, very hard-working. I have seen examples of his work, and I have actually had dealings with some of his customers who've been trying to source plants, and if Dada had been unavailable, I have actually contacted the customers to let them know, and I've only ever heard good things about him. I would be loath to recommend a gardener that I had no experience of, because it's such a major part of people's lives to be working in their home and their home environment. A good gardener has to have good plant knowledge, obviously, and a good understanding of the soil, the conditions in each individual's garden, because as I'm sure you're aware, you can put the wrong plants in the wrong place or in the wrong soil, and they may look all right for a few months, but then a couple of months after that, they're going to go downhill. That's not good for our reputation, and it's certainly not good for the reputation of the gardener. I've only ever had positive feedback about Dada. I mean, I have to say he hasn't never personally done my garden, but from customers I have spoken to, they have only ever said good things about him. Low maintenance, it's a very good way to go for people with such hectic lifestyles in this day and age. I mean, basically it normally involves using a landscape fabric over soil and then top dressing it with a gravel or a bark, which will prevent weeds coming through, and means that basically the customer has to just do the bare maintenance, i.e. watering and ensuring that the plants are cared for. And I'm sure Dada goes back then and does the pruning and the other necessary jobs, and it is becoming more and more fashionable, particularly in London. He mainly buys shrubs, yes. It wouldn't, I mean, bedding, a certain amount of bedding he will buy, which will only survive for the year and then needs to be replaced with something else. With low maintenance gardening, it does tend to be shrubs that will just increase in size. They, as the term suggests, they need very little work or attention to keep them in a healthy condition. Dada has so many customers. I feel that yes, he's a very good customer, because he's always buying plants. He also buys his weed control fabric from us, and any shingle or bark or any other products that he may need for the garden. Historically, when there is a recession, gardening is one of the last areas to be hit. In fact, we often see an increase in turnover as opposed to a decrease. This is primarily that people don't tend to travel abroad. They don't tend to buy new cars or other large purchases, but they do want to make their home environment better. And a relatively inexpensive way of doing that is to do the garden and decorate their house. So it's not something that concerns us terribly. If the recession bites terribly hard, it may, but we have never been in a position, even in the 80s with gardening, when there was a recession, the garden centre still thrived. The other thing that is going to help is the likes of Jamie Oliver, who has been saying to people, grow your own vegetables, and the general trend for growing one's own vegetables, partly because of the prices in the supermarket, but also the blandness of fruit and vegetables that you do buy that's commercially grown. We've noticed vegetable plant sales have been up, I would say, sixfold over last year, this year. And people who don't know anything about gardening are very keen for someone like Dada to come to their garden and help them and give them the advice they need, and to get them going and get it done for them so that they can just then take over. So I don't see it being a problem for gardeners or for us. I think Dada manages his business very well. He seems to have sufficient work, and I know that a lot of his work will be from neighbours of the garden he is currently working on, who see what he has done, see his potential and what he's capable of, and it makes them think, maybe, you know, maybe I'll get him to do my garden, and this has been the case. So I'd just like to say I wish him every success. It's a pleasure knowing him, and I'm sure that a lot of Londoners are happy we have him here.
Thank you.